Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. In this video, we will be solving a guesstimate question, and the question is to estimate the number of windows. I know the question is a bit open-ended, but it is interesting. So keep up with the video till the very end and you will get to know some interesting learning today. So the question is to estimate the number of windows. As usual, what should be our first step? The first step is to understand the question and ask clarifying question. Here it is important to define the boundary because the question is very open-ended. The first question which we can ask is about the windows. What kind of windows are we thinking about? Because there can be different kind of windows like window in residential houses, windows in commercial institutions like shops, hospital, schools. There can be windows in automobiles as well, like windows in personal vehicle or windows in the public transport. I can broadly think all these kind of windows. Do let me know in the comment section if you know other kind of windows that are also applicable here. Assuming that the interviewer wants us to calculate about all these kind of windows. The second question can be about the estimation. If the interviewer wants us to calculate the number of windows as of now, or he wants some projection or growth like estimate the number of windows in 2030, something like this. Assuming that he wants us to calculate as of now. The third question which we can ask is about the geography. What geography does the interviewer is interested in? Let's assume that the interviewer wants us to calculate the total number of windows in the city Jaipur and Rajasthan. Final question which we can ask is about the type of windows. Do we want to calculate any specific type of windows, maybe a wooden window or glass window? Let's assume that we are not bounded by any such constraint, so we have to calculate everything. So we have clarified a lot of question and got a gist of what is being asked in the question. So let's form a goal of the problem. The goal of the problem is to estimate the total number of windows in Jaipur at present. So how do you think you would go about solving this problem? I am giving you some time to think about the problem so that you have a clear roadmap of how you are going to approach it. Right, so take your time and then start the solutioning. Let's start the high level equation and the walkthrough of the solution. At high level, that is what I am thinking. So total number of windows would be equal to the sum of the total number of windows in residential building, total number of windows in institutional buildings, windows in personal vehicle, and finally the windows in public transport. I hope you are with me till now and we'll sum it up to arrive at the final answer. Let's start with the population of Jaipur. From there, we can easily estimate the number of households. From household, we can estimate the number of residential homes. Once we got the residential homes, we can take some fraction to get the institutional building. Please pay attention here. We can take some fractional. For example, we can assume that for every 100 homes in Jaipur, there are 20 institutional buildings that include shops, hospital, etc. So this is a 20% is the fraction which I am taking. Similarly, from household, we can estimate the number of personal vehicle. Once we have the personal vehicle, we can assume some fraction to get the estimate of the public transport like we did to get the institutional building above. Right. So from there, we can calculate the number of windows in each of them, finally sum it up to get the final answer, right? Let's start putting those numbers. Jaipur population is around 4 million. We can assume that 4 people per household, so the number of household would be around 1 million. Let's assume that 70% of household live in buildings which have windows. Other household may be living in houses which are not a proper houses, having windows like slum or huts, right? So we have 7 lakh homes. Now to estimate the institutional building, let's assume that 20% factor, like we discussed before. So if there are 7 lakh homes, then there would be around 1.4 lakh institutional building, 20% of 7 lakh. That is how we got this number. To calculate the personal vehicle, let's assume that 20% of household own personal vehicle, that is like car. That is around 2 lakh cars, right? Now, if we have 2 lakh car, let's assume that 10%, that is around 20,000 we have public transport like buses, trucks, etc. Right? It is the same calculation as we did while calculating institution homes from the residential homes. Now summarizing, we have 7 lakh homes, 1.4 lakh institutional homes, 2 lakh vehicles and 20,000 public vehicles. What do we do now? We have to estimate the number of windows, right? So first start estimating the number of windows in the residential homes. So let's assume that one residential home has 2 rooms and on average 1 window per room. So that will give around 14 lakh windows from the residential homes. Now it is time to estimate the windows from the business institution. We have around 1.4 lakh business institution. On an average, let's assume that 10 rooms are there in any institution because some institution can be as big as 100 rooms and some can be 1 room like a shop. So let's assume that on an average 10 rooms are there in a business institution. That will give around 14 lakh windows from business institutions. Now coming to the personal vehicle. We have around 2 lakh vehicle which will contribute to around 8 lakh windows assuming 4 windows per vehicle. So similarly for the public transport, that is around 20,000, which include buses, trucks, minibuses. So if we assume 20 windows per public transport, that will give around 4 lakh of windows from the public transport. Now, summing all of these, you will get around 40 lakh windows in Jaipur. I hope you have learned something new from this question, and this question has been asked in various form in interviews, like estimate the number of windows in New York. If you have any doubt, please do comment in the comment section below. We'll try to answer your queries. Please subscribe to our channel and you can book a slot with us for any mock interview. Keep learning and keep watching.